That's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch broadcast, you can go to shrmedia.com. Or you can go to Facebook or YouTube and just search for SHR Media. That easy. But don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button before the show is done. How you doing, Jenna? Hopefully you're feeling better. I know I didn't answer your messages this weekend. I think it was Saturday you sent me, but I was out with the family. I was so pissed. So, during the daytime, we went to the power plant. They have this little sanctuaries for the manatees. You know, it was real great. They redid it. One of the things I couldn't believe they did is they redid the walkway that goes out into the bay a little bit. And, well, they have these fences. And, well, I think they put it a little too high. Because I'm 6 foot, and I'm leaning my arms up against it. And I'm just barely able to lean over to look into the water, let alone my wife and child. They couldn't see diddly. And so, you know, on the way out, we stopped and chatted with a worker. And they wanted me to go upstairs to one of the shops, talk to a supervisor. And like I told the supervisor, I said, listen, you guys do this free, so I really don't want to complain too much. I said, I just want to point out this is what's going on. I said, what you might now have is, you know, people now jumping up to lean over because they can't see. And falling over in lawsuits. So they were real appreciative. She thanked me. She said she was hoping because she saw it. They're actually already starting to work on some stuff to correct it. They opened November 1st, and that's when construction finished, and they walked out. And they were like, oh, this is going to be an issue big time. It was a bad design flaw that they didn't expect. The fence is the same height that it was before, but they ended up top half. They put, you know, boarding, you know, like 2x6s and stuff, and ended up blocking everybody's view. So they're going to correct it. Like they said, now they got an issue where now disabled can't see them. So... But from there, we went to the Skyway Bridge, and we were fishing when I got your message, and I didn't get it till much later. I don't even know what time. I think it was when we were on our way home. And last couple times we've gone out. Now, with my gear, I use a 100-pound braided test line. That shit is sharp, hard to break. Well, it can be a little bit easy, and I'll give you the circumstance in which it's easy to break. But the last couple times I've gone out, like the last 3-4 times, one night I had like 3 different poles, and they all have like 100-pound tests, snapping with ease. I was like, son of a bitch, what's going on here? So we weren't having much luck at the North Skyway Pier, so I talked to my wife. I said, let's go to the South Pier. It's still a little early. We got out here early. We did some fishing. Jordan caught. You know, we can go from here, and it's on the way home. So we stop. I get ready. I had a couple of bait fish left. I told Jordan, go ahead, get rid of them. Threw one last cast out. Actually, I started to break shit down and put it in the truck, and I hear my rod take off. I'm like, shit. So I run over. And I'm fighting it. And I look. And what do I see? I see like a 4-foot shark. Oh, I'm happy as pig and shit. I'm reeling it in. It's a nice little fight. I get it to the bottom, and we're up on a bridge. And we're a good 10 feet up in the air. So, I do what I normally do. Reel it up as tight as I can. I give it a good bounce and pop it up. And it misses going over the railing by like a half an inch. And it smacks the railing. And it goes back down. And as it goes back down, this braided line that's now under pressure is dragging across concrete. Still didn't break. So I'm reeling it in. I'm fighting it. I get it back in. One of the guys that was fishing near me, he threw some gloves on so he can grab the braided. If you ever mess with braided, it's a little, and I mean just a little bit thicker than sewing thread. And it's strong. And if you wrap around your hand, it'll cut your damn hand. It will literally cut into your skin. So you have a pair of gloves. Just as he grabs it, we start to lift up, and the fucking line snaps. Oh, I'm pissed. I looked at my wife. We're not going anywhere. I was like, shit, I'm out of bait fish. Just then, my wife catches a ladyfish. Great, that's great for shark. All right. So, I get, fix the line, get 2 of my poles out there. All of a sudden, again, my pole takes off like a bat out of hell. Like, yeah. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This pole didn't take off like a bat out of hell. It fell over, tipped over. So I'm like, wait a minute. And the line went slack. And we could see something jumping out there. Like, oh, son of a bitch, I wish I would have caught that. So I start reeling in the line, and then I noticed there's a fight. I got a fish on. Then I seen that fucker that just jumped out of the water, jumped again. And as he jumped, snapped my 100-pound line braided test. 100-pound braided test line. Snapped it with ease. I'm like, I'm pissed. So we stayed a while longer. The only thing I got from there is I got 2 catfish. Probably what I caught was, what by the looks of it, was like another black tip, or maybe, shit. I can't think of the name of it. I can't think of the other name of what I thought. I know tarpons were around, but I doubt it was a tarpon. I was like, son of a bitch. But at least my wife got to see. I got it to the bridge, and we counted it. I'm counting that. If that would have been a boat or on land, I would have had it. If I would have had a net, I would have had it. If I'd have had a little patience, I would have had it. I was like, son of a gun. Son of a gun. So, you know what? And I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, you know what? All that, I still had a fun night. It was a great night. And I'm having even more fun because I'm a night person. I'll admit that. But I also like when I go fishing. I like going at nights. It's cooler down here. I don't want to go out during the daytime, especially when you're on the pier. Oh, and the sun's beating down. You're in the middle of water. You got the sun beating down. It gets hot, and you get sunburned very quickly. So, it was a good night. I got to spend time with my family. And that's all that matters to me nowadays, is family. It's in a world going to hell, and family values going to shit. The only thing me and my wife want to do anymore is spend more time the family together. We want to get my wife, me, and my child together and go do stuff. I think if people care more about that than anything else, than even trying to prove that they're right, wrong, what? Trying to prove that their thoughts are the main thoughts. And listen, I've been doing this show for 3-4 years. And let me tell you, I'm giving my opinion and my views. I've said that time and time again. This is how I look at it as an everyday Joe Schmo. But it's my opinion. Am I right? I think so. Am I going to sit here and get pissed off if somebody tells me I'm wrong? Fuck no. I told you, and I jokingly say about it, come into the chat room. Tell me what you want to say. Tell me, you love me, hate me, you want me fired, you want me to fuck off, you want me to get a raise. I don't care. It's your opinion. It's your right to. But I might respond back. But it's my opinion and your opinion. And yes, Twitter is mostly just people spouting their opinions. That's what social media is. It was supposed to be an outlet so people can talk about different opinions, to come together as a nation, to come together as a world with different opinions. But what do we have? It's just people arguing and screaming and telling everybody how they're right and everybody else is wrong. And it's not just left. It's not just right. It's both sides. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to talk a little bit about it later. I am not going to spend a lot of time on the shooter. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you live in a cave. And I'm talking about the Texas shooting at the church. But it is funny how I had to listen for several days after the attack in New York and how Trump shouldn't politicize it so quickly. How dare he? And they're already starting it with the gun control. They started it in within hours of gun control. My opinion is this gun control shit is causing a lot of these issues. What happened? Guy went on a shooting spree. The latest we're hearing is his mother-in-law went there, or ex-mother-in-law. She was a member of that church but was not there Sunday. Sounds like this guy has some women issues, atheist. And what stopped him was a Good Samaritan citizen that had a gun. Stopped him. And if you listen to the accounts, as soon as this guy was fired on one time, he dropped his rifle and took off running like a scared little fucking rabbit. Now, could you imagine if someone was armed inside of the church and was able to pull their concealed carry and fire at this guy? He would have dropped his gun, pissing his pants, taken off running, saving lives. It is not the weapon. It is humanity's view on humans nowadays. And the left just demonizes everybody anymore. They're demonizing everybody. So it's no surprise that you have people that go on these shooting sprees. I got a question for everybody. And all these mass shootings, even though they've changed what's a mass shooting, what isn't a mass shooting, how many of them, because they love to blame the NRA, the left does. They love to blame the NRA. Tell me how many shooters were NRA and how many were associated with the Democrat Party. Because I'll tell you right now, not a fucking single one has been an NRA member. But I'll tell you this. Large percentage, more than a majority, have been a Democrat. Democrats can't control their feelings. They get upset. I can go on, but I told you I'm not going to spend much time on it. We'll talk about it later. These people, you take away the gun, they'll use a vehicle. They'll use a pressure cooker. They'll use a baseball bat. They'll use a baseball bat with nails. They'll use a fucking knife, a machete. It doesn't matter the object that they use to commit their hate. If they have that hate in their heart, they're going to do it. And the best thing to do is allow people a fighting chance to defend themselves back. Period. I'm so tired of this conversation. It's the same thing every time it happens. Fuck, car attack happens. We need gun control. What do you have Schumer doing? Shut up with the gun control. Shut up with the gun control. And what do you expect, people? You preach this hate that the left has been preaching and pushing. This is the outcome. This is the division that is the Democrat Party. This is what they want, chaos. So they can come in and get more regulations to tell you how they care. That guy should have never had a fucking gun. Never. How he got a gun, I don't know. Dishonorable discharge, domestic violence, right there, boom. Should not have a gun. I know I have an article for later that talks about concealed carry he applied for in Texas, and they shot him down. But more about that later. I'm going to start off with a Money Talk, Melanie Money Talks Minute, and then we're going to hit a break, and then we will be right back, only on SHR Media.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute with your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week, we're going to discuss interest rates. Why are they important? Well, they're important on two sides of your financial coin. On the one side, you have your debt, credit card debt, loans, and things like that. You always want to get the lowest interest rate possible. Why? That means that money is costing you a lot less to borrow with a lower interest rate. And speaking of debt, when you're looking at which loan or which credit card to pay off first, you're always going to look at the interest rate. Which one has the highest interest rate? That's the one you want to start paying off first. On the savings side of the financial coin, what kind of savings account do you want to open? Which one should you choose? You will always choose the one with the best interest rate. And on the savings side, the best interest rate will be the highest interest rate. This means it will yield you the highest amount of return. And that's it for your Money Talk Minute of the week. I am your business diva, Melanie Collette.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So what we're going to do is hit the first article. Is what is it? Tancredo? What the hell? Got a little overlay from something else. What is his name? Tancredo. Hold on one sec. One more. God damn it. So he's a leading figure in the battle against illegal immigration since his election to Congress in the late 1990s. Well, he spoke out shortly after giving his own address held in honor of Americans killed by illegal alien crime and the angel families of the bereaved. Because he is attacked as much as he is, there is no better indicator of how powerful he is and how afraid they are of him. Tancredo said of Bannon, to whom in his speech he referred to as his boss. Addressing the angel families and other attendees at the Willard Hotel, Tancredo went on, related his decade-long struggle against the Republican establishment to bring the illegal immigration issue to the political fore. He described an eye-opening early experience shortly after his 1998 election, when over 200 of his fellow congressional Republicans walked out of a GOP conference meeting rather than watch his video on the ongoing flood of illegal aliens in Arizona. Later, he turned his attentions to just announced 2018 campaign for the governor of Colorado, an office he has run for twice before. 7 years ago in a landmark election for an anti-illegal immigration movement, Tancredo won 24 Colorado counties on a constitutional party platform, on which he ran after both leading GOP primary candidate were marred by scandals after the deadline for entering as a Republican passed. Despite Tancredo receiving the endorsement of the lion's share of Colorado's Republican elected officials and the state party chairman, the GOP eventually ran a spoiler candidate who received only 11% of the votes and assured a Democratic victory. 4 years later, in 2014, he narrowly missed carrying the Republican banner when national Republican establishment groups threw massive resources against him over his hardline stance on immigration. A watchdog group eventually confirmed Tancredo's campaign assertion that the Neutral Republican Governors Association, then under the leadership of New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, funneled hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund groups running anti-Tancredo ads in the lead-up to the primary. Given the pro-sovereignty wave that has swept the country in the age of Trump, Tancredo was confident of the chances for a populist nationalist like him in 2018. I am presently ahead of every single one of my Republican tenders in the primary for governor. I am ahead by at least 15 points. But more interesting to me, I am tied with a potential Democrat who's going to run for governor. And that came out 2 weeks before I ever entered the race, so things look good. So we go from there. We're going to go to Virginia's governor race, which tomorrow's the election, I believe. Hopefully we'll have good news. I love it. There's a bunch of little elections that are being held tomorrow. And I love how, again, this is a litmus test of how the 2018 elections are going to go. How many times do we have to say that? Every time there's an election, this is going to be a litmus test on Trump, on whether we can win 2018. This is a litmus test to show you that the people hate Trump and the Democrats are going to take control in 2018. Oh, we lost. Oh, the next special election. Oh, we lost that one too. The one after that, we lost that one too. Next one. Oh, we lost that one. The next one. Oh, we lost that one. The next one, that's one. The other ones we were just joking about. This one is dead serious. This primary in Georgia, this election in Georgia, this is the... Oh, we lost? Russia got involved. That's how it's been going, and now they're talking about, Virginia, Colorado. They're talking about, I think it's a Senate race in California. Now, It's a Republican. The Republican passed away, I think, from cancer. So they're having a special election. And this is going to be a litmus test. This is going he wins, if the Democrat wins, it gives him a solid control up and down. I'm like, California is a fucking wasteland of liberals in office. How is one more showing that everybody's tired of Trump? Nobody wants Trump. Nobody wants Trump. Nobody wants Trump. But you kept losing. So you pick a race that is a dead win for a Democrat as the litmus test on how 2018 are going to go. Talk about fucking desperation, people. Damn. They're more desperate than a 30-year-old virgin in a women's penitentiary of playgirls. Jesus. I mean, they come up with more bullshit. And I used the line before. They could fucking, they could definitely fertilize the whole United States with all the bullshit that they pump out. It's so tired of that bullshit. Same shit. Squawk, squawk, squawk. It's going to be a litmus test. And then when they lose, oh, this had nothing to do with it. We had nothing to do with it. Nope, 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 nope. We don't know what you're talking about. But back to the Virginia governor's race. And now the forms suggest that the Democrat campaign involved in race baiting ad despite denials. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think it was the day before the day of the terrorist attack in New York with the truck. The Virginia ad ran depicting a pickup truck with a Confederate flag trying to run black kids over, Muslim kids over. Real disgusting, desperate attempt for attention. They ended up pulling the ads. And Ralph Northams, who's the candidate, denied having any connection to it. Well, now it seems that is a big bullshit snow job. That he did have connection. He knows he's in deep shit with it. The people are not happy about that. Sorry, excuse for a political ad. And what's worse, I even seen some Democrats going, I drive a pickup truck. Does that make me racist? I was like, oh, shit. You know, that's what do you hear from Democrats anymore? He's a racist, racist, racist. It's like they ran out of bullshit excuses. And the only thing they have anymore is the racist comment. And that's all they have. And that's all they use anymore. They're racist. They're white supremacists. That's all they have. Oh, and they have a new one. Wait till you hear the new one. And it'll be in the next article. I about pissed myself laughing when I heard this one. It just how he's losing. Northam is to Republican Ed Gillespie. So he tries to paint Gillespie as, and if I'm fucking up the name, I'm sorry, as a racist, which they try to do all the time. It's nothing new. But it was a group called Latino Victory Fund created the ad, but pulled it after a terrorist reportedly shouting Ali Akbar. Aloha snack bar! Murdered 8 people in New York City using a pickup truck. Northam distanced his campaign from the ad, telling a TV station, "That commercial did not come from our campaign. It certainly is not a commercial that I would have wanted to run." But disclosure forms suggest the Northam campaign may have been involved, as the Northam campaign reported a $62,729.60 in-kind contribution in the form of media from the Latino Victory Fund shortly after the ad came out. Under Virginia law, a media contribution is in kind only if the campaign worked with the outside group of the ad. On Fox and Friends, the Virginia Republican gubernatorial candidate reacted to a Democrat ad implying his supporters are Confederates who attack minority kids. Ed Gillespie calls ads targeting his supporters a new law. And I mean, Hillary started that. And that's one of the things that hurt her. She attacked the constituents. And for some reason, the Democrats think it's smart. You know, they think it's smart to attack the people that they're trying to get them to vote for them. Well, let's see. They've been trying to sweet talk lately, and that hasn't worked. Sorry, Jenna. But, so they think it's smart now. Let me insult them. That'll get them running to vote for me. Takes a special kind of stupid to think that. It really does. You have to be really fucking stupid to think that. Now we have Phil Carpin. I don't know. President of the free market think tank American Commitment, first discovered the disclosure. Northam claimed to know nothing about the ad. On the very same day, his own campaign filed an official disclosure accepting the ad as an in-kind contribution. He points to a Virginia law which says a campaign must have direct involvement in the project for it to be an in-kind contribution. Gotta be a window licker. Gotta be. Helmet wearing, window licking moron of the year. Now, Latino Victory Fund did not respond to questions about any coordination with the Northam campaign. Of course, they're going to keep quiet. And, of course, the Northam's campaign is trying to say that they're trying to make it sound like it was accidental filing. They had nothing to do with it, and it was something else they worked on. Fuck all. It just seems funny how all this shit always happens, and then they try to run the opposite direction. He never really came out and condemned it. He's out there, still attacking law-abiding American citizens and insulting them. I don't see how that is smart. How that's going to win you a goddamn election. I don't know. Are they really that stupid? I mean, it didn't help Hillary. I know people that said as soon as they heard that they were supporting Hillary when they heard that just made them walk away. They thought that was very stupid, very childish, very un-American. It's one thing that the candidates go back and forth at each other, but when they attack the constituents, that's another thing. They cross the line. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network. To voice his promos, he'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cap for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So, side note, one of the projects that I got myself doing again, I always find myself doing little projects. I get bored very easy. And I like doing some woodworking. I haven't done it in a while. And I saw something, what is it, Lichtenberg machine? And basically what it is it's you take two electrodes, and it has, I mean, anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000. It varies kind of like on the type of burn you want to do. And it's like 20 milliamps. I mean, this stuff is dangerous to do, but you soak the piece of wood that you're going to do, and you start on either end, and it almost looks like a tree or lightning. How lightning will fan out, and well, it burns it into the wood nicely. So I'm going to be playing with that soon. I got the machine coming in, and I'm going to build that. And I'm actually working on a new. Don't ask me why. I like building walkers, not like walking sticks and canes. Like, I'll be walking through the woods. You know what? That would make a nice cane. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that Lichtenberg burn down the side of it. See how that comes. So if you don't hear from me after I build a machine, it means I electrocuted myself. And yes, this very well could electrocute me. When you're talking like 10,000 volts, yeah, that can stop a heart. So I'm going to try that and see how it looks. And then I might do a couple with the tabletops all burned in. I get weird things in my head. That, and I want to try to get some clear epoxy and do get hold, because there's a lot of cut down wood. I know on a lot, but you like a tabletop from a stump. You cut it like 2-3 inches thick, and you cut it across, and then you hollow out the center of it. You don't go all the way through. You make this like little bowl cavity, and you can do different items in it. And like I saw one, you take all these quarters, you put them in there. You know, and then you pour an epoxy, a clear epoxy in there. And you make a tabletop, because the coins will be underneath. No one can ever move them. And you do it with different items. So, going to try that. A lot of different stuff. You can do that etching with the Lichtenberg machine, and you burn it in. And then you take this glowing paint, and you put it in there, and then you put the epoxy on top. And it's pretty cool. So I'll be working on a couple projects over the quote-unquote winter here. And, well, let's get to the next article. And this is going to be the Virginia Democratic gubernatorial race again. But the Virginia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Ralph Northam, whatever, campaign released a report that blamed online bots for the increased online activity over the Latino Victory Fund ad that featured Ed Gillespie supporters attempting to run down minority children. The Latino Victory Fund ad became a center point of the Virginia gubernatorial race. The Northam campaign and the Latino Victory Fund faced bipartisan backlash over the controversial ad. Even the Washington Post called the ad vile and despicable. Virginia campaign finance reports revealed, as I told you, that the Victory Fund coordinated with the Northam campaign on the controversial ad. Rather than admit that the Latino Victory Fund ad stirred controversy among Virginia residents, the Northam campaign released a study commissioned by Discourse Intelligence that suggested that the increased online activity was mostly attributed to online bots. Now, who's to blame for those bots? They actually blame the Russians. It is the Russians that are causing this issue. Senator Mark Warren, Democrat from Virginia, vice chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, claimed that Russian operatives continue to influence American election. Warren said Russian operatives are attempting to initiate and manipulate American social media to hijack the national conversation and to make Americans angry and to set us against ourselves and to undermine our democracy. They did it in the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign. They are still doing it now. Now, here's the problem with that narrative that the Democrats keep pushing. It's utter bullshit. Because you had Twitter and Facebook, or was it Google and Facebook, either one, testify that the Russian ads that Americans saw at a small percentage was not until after the election. It was stating that President Trump was not the rightful candidate, elected official. That Hillary won that election. It is the Russians that tried to undermine Trump's win. They didn't try to intervene on the actual election. They did afterwards to try to undermine Trump. So in other words, it's helping the Democrats as the Democrats go crying that Russians involved. All the testimony shows there was no conspiracy against the Democrat. The only conspiracy there was against Bernie Sanders. There was a conspiracy that Hillary Clinton might have been too stupid for her own fucking good. Russia did not hide Wisconsin. Russia did not hide Michigan. Russia did not hide Pennsylvania. She just decided not to show up. And this goddamn Russia. So now, because they go and make a racist, false accusation against the candidate, even the Democrats, elected Democrats, well, you know, because public opinion was saying it's bad thing, so they jumped on board. So now as their excuse, they're trying to say that Russian operatives are attempting to initiate and manipulate American social media. Bullshit. Chelsea Handler, who had her Netflix TV show canceled, blamed Russian bots on November for influence the Virginia gubernatorial race. Handler tweeted, Russian bots are already interfering with Virginia's election, spreading disinformation and race baiting. No, you dumb cum dumpster. Yes, that's what Chelsea Handler is. They're not race baiting. Your candidate was race baiting. Your candidate was spreading misinformation. Not Russia. Your candidate, Jackass Northam. And you sit there and making excuses, so therefore you're accepting of what he did. Oh, my God. And then you have Northam's campaign excluded a black candidate for Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax, from their campaign flyers. And Democracy for America denounced Northam's campaign after they flip-flopped in favor of banning sanctuary cities last week. And blamed, former Democrat Governor Doug Wilder refused to endorse Northam and blamed Northam for the campaign flyer faux pas. Multiple polls released over the past weekend reveal that Ed Gillespie's lead over Ralph Northam in the polls. Virginia Republican Lieutenant Governor national candidate Jill Vogel declared that Tuesday's Virginia election will define the future of Virginia for a generation. That is tomorrow. Virginia, remember, this guy is a race-baiting piece of shit. He's a proven liar. I mean, look at what he does. First it was, I had nothing to do with that ad, and then come to find out he definitely did. He's, lied and back and forth on banning sanctuary cities. Hey, get with it, people. He's a joke. And you want that for a governor? Hell. They elect him as governor of Virginia. You deserve everything you get. Hell, they already got felons voting. Hell, because of the way they changed the law about felons voting, they're now running for office, and you now have a candidate running in Virginia that wants to make pedophilia legal. Bravo. Bravo. I don't know. I mean, and I know this is myself. I disagree with a few people on it. I think once you are put in prison, you lose your constitutional rights. You lose your right to vote. You have proven that you are irresponsible. You may do your time and get out. That does not excuse your crime that you did. And I don't think you should get your voting rights back. Sorry, I don't think so. You showed that you are irresponsible and you can't be trusted. There is second chances, and then there is no. They've shown that they are not responsible enough to own a gun. I wouldn't want them owning a gun. So I'm trying to think. All right. Sorry, I got sidetracked with shiny keys again. It's... But to do that ad was low to begin with. Sit there and try to lie about it when you know that information's going to get out is just stupid. And if you think that is what your opponent is, stand behind it. Don't hide. Don't hide. Stand right there. If you think that's your candidate, stand behind your accusations. Stand right there and don't be embarrassed about or ashamed of your accusations that you have to hide. Come out there. Say it. Be a man. Oh, man. I don't know. All right. We're going to go to break. We're going to have the Melanie Money Talks Minute again, and we will be right back after this brief message.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute with your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week, we're going to discuss interest rates. Why are they important? Well, they're important on two sides of your financial coin. On the one side, you have your debt, credit card debt, loans, and things like that. You always want to get the lowest interest rate possible. Why? That means that money is costing you a lot less to borrow with a lower interest rate. And speaking of that, when you're looking at which loan or which credit card to pay off first, you're always going to look at the interest rate. Which one has the highest interest rate? That's the one you want to start paying off first. On the savings side of the financial coin, what kind of savings account do you want to open? What one should you choose? You will always choose the one with the best interest rate. And on the savings side, the best interest rate will be the highest interest rate. This means it will yield you the highest amount of return. And that's it for your Money Talk Minute of the week. I am your business diva, Melanie Collette.
Conservative media done right. You're
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network. To voice his promos, he'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying confidence, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a live stream, it's easy. Just go to SHR Media, or you can go to Facebook and YouTube and just search for SHR Media. Don't forget to hit the like or subscribe button. Oh, let's see. Where are we at? Oh, wait a minute. Wasn't this Saturday, November 4th, the big takeover that we had a fear about? Antifa takeover? Seemed like more of a anti-fail. Low turnout at a nationwide Refuse Fashion protest. Refuse Fashion, the group behind this weekend's multi-city Antifa rallies, claims to be organizing millions of people to drive out fascist Trump and Pence regime. Actual turnout on the first day of their nationwide rally was far, far lower. Oh, and a newsflash. Trump and Pence are still president and vice president. Oops. The group, founded by Revolutionary Communist Party Chairman Bob Avakins, took out a full-page ad in the New York Times to promote the rally and has enjoyed free press in the national media the past few days. Despite the press attention, turnout was low at many of the Refuse Fashion rallies, which were scheduled to take place in 20 U.S. cities. See, now the problem is, well, when they have those rallies with big numbers, that's because they're pumping in, they're bussing in thousands upon thousands of paid protesters. And when you do 20, 30 of these goddamn rallies in one single day, they can't get the people all around. It's the hell? Oh, there it is. The only exception appears to have been L.A., where local news reports that close to 2,000 protesters gathered. There was no reports of violent incidents, although a woman accused of deliberately splashing her drink on a Trump supporter was reportedly arrested at a Refuse Fascism march in New York City. I have a question, because in L.A. they're sitting there protesting Trump. Where the fuck is the protest against Harvey Weinstein and the other sexual predators? They got like a whole host of sexual predators out there, and no protest on them. Oh, they don't protest their own crimes. Oh, I see. I forgot about that. Had to remind myself. Oh, it's they and I had talked about this Friday. They hyped it up so big that chances of it doing anything, so they just discredited themselves. They just showed how little their movement really is. They just showed how insignificant their movement really is. I've had bowel movements that are bigger than this. Sorry for that image, but I mean, where do you go after a comment like that? No. I don't know. It's a joke. It's a small group that still can't accept they lost the election and they want to cry about it. They're after their 15 minutes of fame. Look at us! I don't know. If that was the big bang, I couldn't even blow my nose with that bang. One protester in Seattle turned up with a Soviet flag. I can only assume that the New York Times, the Washington Post, and CNN, all of which hate murderous totalitarian ideology, will give him the same coverage they devote to the swastika at Charlottesville. That's how it works, right? No, they won't cover shit on that. They won't cover that it's a communist group that is doing these. Oh, they cover, isn't that great? They're against Trump. They don't cover that it's a communist group that's doing it. How many millions have been killed because of communism? It is just absolutely. There was a man with neither an American flag nor a Soviet flag, but a trombone. Oh, that's it. I give in. I believe their message. There was a guy with a trombone. I believe in their message that Trump is bad. Oh my God. Seattle had a marching band show up. Nothing says protest like a marching band. Did they have like the little twirling? Whee! They spell out little messages as they were marching. That'd have been a long. I-M-P-E. Sorry, what were you spelling? You want a peach? I don't know. Oh, someone. This is the Antifa apocalypse. Yeah. Oh. Another one tweeted out, say it with us, we refuse to accept fascist America. That's why people refuse to go to your protest. What you're doing is actually fascism. I don't know. It's just... It's... They can't even answer questions when the media ask them. That's it. That lady was asked about how she felt about the Revolutionary Communist Party's involvement in today's event, and all she could do was scream at the reporter. I don't know. 200 people were in Philadelphia. Ooh, gee, many crickets. I don't know. It's disgusting. Now I'm trying to find the next article. A bunch of tweets. And Hawaii got in on it. In Hawaii, a crowd of protesters greeted the arrival of President Trump earlier in the day with signs bearing the slogan, "Impeach and welcome to Kenya." Yeah, that made sense. They even tried to organize in Texas, but only managed to mobilize what appeared to be just over a dozen protesters. It's... You know, I guess Call of Duty had some kind of contest this weekend, so they couldn't make it out of their mom's basement. It's the only thing I could think of. I mean, supposedly there's billions of these idiots, and nobody can show up. Now, the other news that came out, Rand Paul. You know, I've had a hot and cold with him. I don't agree with everything of his, and I agree with some. But just as anything else, this should have never happened. Rand Paul was attacked Friday afternoon while he was at his house by a liberal who is avowed a socialist. Attacked him to the point that it broke several ribs and bruised a lung. this idiot who's the neighbor of Rand Paul, no matter what it is, may not have realized he knows he was attacking a senator. May didn't realize because he attacked a senator is now a federal crime and will be charged as such. Local citizens say Rene Boucher, the 59-year-old man who assaulted Paul, was a socialist who frequently fought with neighbors about health care policy and other liberal issues. Boucher and Paul, a Republican from Kentucky, are on the opposite ends of the political spectrum, they told reporters. Jeff Jones, a registered nurse who worked with Boucher at the Bowling Green Medical Center, describes Paul's attacker politics as liberal. He was active on social media and said other negative things about the Republican agenda. Jones said of Boucher, a Bowling Green, Kentucky citizen who lives in the same gated community as Paul, "I think it was unfortunate that they lived so close together." Boucher is a divorced socialist who is pretty much the opposite of Rand Paul in every way. A Facebook account Boucher maintains before the attack contained numerous anti-Republican postings. He wrote, "May Robert Mueller fry Trump's gonads" in a May post referencing the former FBI director investigation into possible collusion between President Donald Trump's campaign and Russian government. Paul is an ophthalmologist who has practiced in Bowling Green since moving there with his wife in the early 1990s. Boucher, meanwhile, is an anesthesiologist and the inventor of the Thermavest, a vest designed to help with back pain. Never heard of that. Let me look this up real quick. So what is he, like one of those late night infomercial type back pain vest? A vest, a relief for pain. Poses with a picture back in 2005. A rice-filled vest that is heated for use on sore backs. Oh, wow. He took a piece of cloth, sewed in pockets, put rice in it, and you heat it up and you put it on your back, and it was selling on the QV shopping station. Wow. Paul had staff privileges at the hospital where Boucher worked, so Paul and Boucher must have worked together at some point. Paul's injuries were far worse than initially reported. He has a lung contusion or bruise caused by broken ribs, Doug Stafford, Paul's chief of staff, said in a statement Sunday. The type of fractures the senator sustained can cause other significant medical problems, including internal bleeding and pneumonia. The type of injury is caused by high-velocity, severe force. It is not clear exactly how soon he will return to work as the pain is considerable as it is difficult in getting around, including flying. Rand Paul, as I said, I don't agree with everything you say and do, but get well, get back to work, and Godspeed. With that, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, I did the mistake. I looked over, and one of the idiots is going on about gun control on one of my local representatives. Oh, gun control. Oh. Well, let's ban goddamn cars, too. 5 people were killed. Oh, yeah, that makes it better. It's a bunch of bullshit. They're going to do these acts no matter what. It's going to be a never-ending argument. These sheep just keep going on and on and on and think that, that's going to stop the problem. That's not going to stop shit, people. And USA Today went after Texas for lax concealed carry laws after Sutherland Spring Church shooting, but the attacker, Devin Kelly, was denied such a permit. He was denied a permit, and there's you got these gun laws, and they have nothing to do with this fucking shooting at all. They point to the reduced fees for a permit effective this year, whereby the price dropped from $140 to $40. The paper reported that a portion of the concealed carry safety course can be done online, and that possession of a permit lets the holder carry open or concealed. Oh my God! The flagship Gannett Company outlet added, the open carry law allows licensed gun owners to carry their weapons in most public spaces. Oh my God, where crimes are committed, you're allowed to carry. Protect yourself. God fucking forbid. None of these laws have anything to do with Sunday's incident, as the attacker was denied a Texas carry permit. In fact, the purpose behind the lower cost and online simplicity of a permit application is to lessen the burdensome process for self-defense. The USA Today column quotes a 2013 American Journal for Public Health, which says that states with higher rates of gun ownership had disproportionately large number of deaths from firearm-related homicide. This overlooks recent work by LaGrange College professor John A. Turs, who cross-examined various figures on gun crime and found that homicide rates are not markedly different from states with gun control for private sales versus states without. On October 2017, the Ledger Inquirer reported that Turs was initially persuaded that the average gun-related homicide rate per 100 person among gun control states, 3.31, was lower than those with no regulations of private gun sales, 4.28. Then he realized that an error existed in the way figures from certain states were tallied in certain studies. 2 gun control states and 9 gun right states had too few gun homicides to calculate the rate and were left out of the study. Turs and his students created an extra table to compile the figures originally left out, and the result was little to no difference between states with relaxed or strict gun laws. The study was changed, twisted to meet the ends instead of letting the data go where it should have gone. To the facts. No, these idiots start with an answer and go from there. Now, here's the one thing I don't understand. The Texas shooter acquired his gun via background check at a retail sporting goods stores in San Antonio. He was discharged from the military for domestic violence. Both of those factors, the discharge and domestic violence, should have kept him from getting any type of firearm. So whether there's a misreporting on some of this fact, I don't know. And what's worse is this guy, if this is true, just gets into the long list of mass public attackers who compiled with all gun control to acquire their firearms only to use those guns for heinous purposes. If he passed... Wait a minute. They continue pushing for background checks, and all these idiots keep passing background checks, but there's nothing you can tell. Because I was talking to my mom. She's like, can't we do anything? Isn't there something we can do? There was kids involved. This sick son of a bitch went and shot a 5-year-old in the face. And unfortunately, no, there's nothing we could do to stop these sick sons of bitches. Well, isn't there something we could do to stop him from getting that gun? No. This guy, I'm wondering, but the other ones, no, there was no history. They had no criminal background. It all depends on how things were done in this one. In the cases with the domestic violence and the discharge would depend on whether he was ineligible to get a gun. But the list is growing and growing. And I keep going over it. The Alexandria attacker, June 14th, 2017. The Orlando attacker, the UCLA gunman, San Bernardino attackers, Colorado Springs attacker, Umpqua Community College attacker. I know I'm mispronouncing that, and I apologize. Allison Parker attacker, Lafayette Movie Theater attacker, Chattanooga attacker, Manual African Methodist Episcopal attacker, the Mohammed Cartoon Contest attackers, Santa Barbara attackers, Fort Hood, Arapahoe High School attacker, D.C. Naval Yard attacker, the Royal Movie Theater attacker, Gabby Gifford, Fort Hood again, the Virginia Tech attacker, and many, many others all passed background checks to get the gun. So what are more background checks going to do? Background checks aren't going to stop much. They stop some people from getting guns, but it's not going to stop the crime from happening. When man has malice in the heart, it's going to be committed. We are a determined species. And we're determined to kill each other for no fucking reason. But the point is simple. Gun laws do not constrain criminals who are determined to carry out attacks. Particularly if those criminals are willing to do while doing so. The solution lies in being sure law-abiding Americans have access to firearms and the ability to carry them for self-defense. Probably that church didn't allow you to carry firearms, would you? So, that's what happens. And I'm not saying it came out kind of wrong, but you know what? I've gone into stores that say, we don't allow concealed carry. Oh, I'm concealed carrying. You don't know. You're going to have to either throw me out for a suspicion that I'm carrying, because I'm not going to show you. You have no right to touch me. So if you want to throw me out because you have a suspicion, that's fine. I'll take my business elsewhere. But I will still carry in a store, because the only thing you can do is throw me out and maybe call the cops and have me trespassed. That's it. And as this is where there's some question, because right now journalists and leftist activists are calling for a ban on gun purchases by convicted domestic abusers after the Texas church shooting, seemingly unaware that such a law already fucking exists. That's the problem. They keep running their mouths, and these laws already exist that they want. But because Democrats, keep yipping about it. But last year, the Supreme Court upheld a federal law that prevents people with misdemeanor domestic violence convictions from possessing or purchasing firearms. The law was enacted in 1996 and was intended to extend provisions in a 1968 act that banned anyone convicted of a felony or had a domestic violent protective order from possessing a firearm. In fact, Devin P. Kelly, the gunman who killed at least 26 people in a Texas church on Sunday, was denied a gun license from the state. It is unclear how he was able to get around a background check in 2016 to buy a semi-automatic rifle, as his history of domestic violence should have precluded him from buying the gun. Lying on a background check form is a felony, and Kelly's domestic violence conviction should have been caught by the federal background check system. There may have been some kind of breakdown in the system, but buying a gun with domestic violence conviction is already against the law. And I've been saying that all since this happened. He should have never been able to. Something happened, whether someone didn't file the paperwork right, it was never put in, or what. When that background check was done, it should have popped. He should have been denied. And as far as I know, dishonorable discharge is also a factor for being turned down during the background check. Something happened where something wasn't put in properly, because he was discharged from the military for a domestic violence against his wife. So he should have been, that's 2 reasons to be denied on a background check. Why? That's the question we need to answer. He did have some triggers that should have kept him from getting and owning a gun. But for whatever reason, the background check failed. No other way. And you could try to add all the laws you want. It's not going to stop these idiots. He knew he shouldn't own a firearm, and he still owned a firearm. He still went and bought one, knowing full damn well his dishonorable discharge and his domestic violence kept him from getting one. Whether he misrepresented it and outright lied on that form, something needs to be checked into on that. And if that store sold it to him knowing that he had those and lied, they should be held accountable. I'm not going to excuse a store like that. All right, we're going to head to break, our last break, finish out the show. We're going to hit the Melanie Money Talk Minute, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Welcome to this week's Money Talk Minute with your business diva, Melanie Collette. This week, we're going to discuss interest rates. Why are they important? Well, they're important on 2 sides of your financial coin. On the one side, you have your debt, credit card debt, loans, and things like that. You always want to get the lowest interest rate possible. Why? That means that money is costing you a lot less to borrow with a lower interest rate. And speaking of debt, when you're looking at which loan or which credit card to pay off first, you're always going to look at the interest rate. Which one has the highest interest rate? That's the one you want to start paying off first. On the savings side of the financial coin, what kind of savings account do you want to open? What one should you choose? You will always choose the one with the best interest rate. And on the savings side, the best interest rate will be the highest interest rate. This means it will yield you the highest amount of return. And that's it for your Money Talk Minute of the week. I am your business diva, Melanie Collette.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catherine is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. So, during that break, I took a look over at something, and lo and behold, it's about him passing the background check. What's going on now is the Air Force has said it is investigating an apparent failure to enter information on the Texas shooter's criminal history into the national database. Ex-Airman Kelly was court-martialed for domestic violence in 2012 and was barred from owning or buying guns. Someone failed to put that information in. They were supposed to. And now you see what happened. He was able to buy a gun last year, when he should not have been allowed to. He should have never been able to own a gun, let alone possess one. I don't know. I don't even know where to go from there on that. Just someone failed to do their job, and now 26 people have paid the price. So very fake news, CNN is busted again. How many times are they going to get busted? Left-wing CNN was caught using fake video Monday morning to mock President Trump for following the lead of Japanese Prime Minister with the emptying of a box of fish food into a koi pond. The only thing is that in order to make Trump look like a rube, the Trump-hating network left out the part about following the Japanese Prime Minister's lead. An update, this is only CNN's first piece of fake news today. The last place network also selectively edited a Trump quote to automakers as a mean to fact-check the president as either dishonest or ignorant. I mean, they're just getting... As you will see, and it shows the video in the CNN tweet is a banana. It is presented in a way to make Trump look foolish by deceiving news consumers. Trump joined his Japanese counterpart, president, in feeding fish, emptying the whole box of food into a koi pond. That was the tweet the CNN put out. The event is a photo op with American president and Japanese leader. In a wide shot of the two men, both hold separate boxes of fish food as they spoon the food to hungry koi in the pond. And then right around the 42-second mark, the camera zooms close on Trump. At the 49-second mark, you see President Rube simply flip over his box of fish food and dump it out. And then, just as the very fake news CNN attended, the other left-wing outlets that intentionally misreported it intended, the world laughed. And it goes into a bunch. Trump was supposed to feed the koi by the spoonful with PM Abby, but quickly got impatient and dumped the whole box of food into the pond. That was from Huffington Post. Trump spoon feeds koi fish at Alaska Palace. He ends up dumping the whole box of fish food into the pond. Trump pours the remainder of his fish food out as he and Japanese PM feed fish in a koi pond in Tokyo. It just keeps going on. But as you see at the 58-second mark of that video, and the unaltered Apple video of the photo op, President Trump was merely following his host's lead and only emptied his box of fish food into the pond after the Prime Minister did. It has been a very bad week for the last place cable news network that Trump himself has accurately labeled very fake news. Just a few days ago, CNN afternoon anchor Jake Tapper was caught red-handed misinterpreting Islamic phrase Allah Akbar. Aloha snack bar! And doing so at the most inappropriate time in the media aftermath of a deadly Islamic attack in New York. In the wake of this criticism, Tapper melted down in public with only further diminished the once respected newsman. The only result of this relentless 24-hour fake news crusade against Trump has been CNN dropping from second place to dead last place in the cable news war. This latest bit of fake news trickery will only add to the embattled network's worst rating and reputation problems. I mean, Jesus, people, talk about fake. And then they go after, who's the ones that did the videos for Planned Parenthood? They go after Veritas for their undercover. Oh, they're selectively editing. No, they don't selective editing. CNN NBC, they selectively edit. And I say NBC because I believe it was NBC that edited the 911 tape to make Zimmerman sound like he was making racist comments. You know, that is not news. That is not First Amendment. That is outright lying. And how we are still allowing this is beyond my comprehension. This is, well, I don't think we're putting up with it. CNN's ratings are falling. You know, Zucker is not, whatever his name is, Jeff Zucker. If, what is it, Time Warner gets sold, you know his ass is going to be fired. He's going to be gone quicker than anything. They're not going to keep him. He's failed to do his job. He has brought down a once mighty news network, brought it down, turned it into a laughingstock. He tried using it as a political arm, and it's failed. It worked for a couple years. It did. It's true. It's true. I don't know. And I don't understand this. We got celebrities that are jumping on and calling for gun control. I'll tell you what. Before you celebrities go jumping about gun control and trying to lecture us, why don't we talk about a little sexual control out of Hollywood? When they can control their urges, maybe we can talk about guns. You know, Stephen King, how many more have to die before we enact sane gun control laws? Oh. What? More background checks that are already there? I don't know. These people are... And they're attacked. I mean, they attack people for their religion. And Chancellor, innocent people go to church on Sunday to honor the God, and while doing so, get shot and killed. What country? America. Why? Republican. Actually, no. I would say that is your Democrats. They're the ones that have come up with this idea for a gun-free zone, which turns into a smorgasbord for criminals. They can pretty much go in and do whatever they want because everybody is unarmed. You know, they're going into the Timothy Simmons and Joy Reid. It's the NRA. It's the NRA. Except not a single fucking NRA member has been ever done this. It's a bunch of fucking Democrats that are going on the shooting spree. And then you had the producer for Ellen DeGeneres show. Fuck Trump, fuck Russia, fuck guns. Yes, I'm fucking politicizing all of it. Well, fuck you. I think it's... I don't hear him saying shit. You're pretty quiet about this sexual scandal that's rocking Hollywood. All these directors and producers and executives that have been sexually assaulting and raping women, and the women that have been silent and allowed it to go on. You know, they're going to try lecturing us and telling us what's best for the country? Fuck off. You don't even know how to control your little city from attacking people. Go fuck yourself on that idea. All right, when you can get self-control, then come talk, because it's not a gun control issue, it's a self-control issue. And how did we end it? Well, a good guy with a gun ended it. Yeah, now the United States Air Force said that they fucked up. I don't know. That's a big fuck up. But unfortunately, some little pissant, I don't want to say pissant, some low-level person their heads will roll for it. Like my dad said when we were talking about the Clinton and all that, it'll be some janitor that'll get, convicted. And that's usually what happens. The low man on the total pole is the one that gets in trouble, not the big shots that screw up. It's... It's going to be weird. It is, because we got Democrats. It seems that they're more focused on division than the issues. They don't have a solution, so all they want to do is just talk about who's mean, who says mean things, and they just attack people with false accusations. They don't care. It don't bother them. It's getting pretty sickening. But that's going to be the end of the show. I want to thank everybody. Again, and I put a post up. I had to do it. I had to be the smart ass. I survived the great Antifa riot. Yeah, that was the biggest joke. I will be back tomorrow. And I think everything's going to be back to order this week on SHR Media. The main studio has their internet all fixed finally. Comcast got off their ass and did their job. And with that, I want to wish everybody, good night and be safe. See you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and SHR Media.